Hello guys and welcome to Air Tycoon World Domination Episode 4. It's been quite a while since the last episode in terms of in-game time, but there's a reason for that, and that's because I've been playing, but I've been stalling out in a lot of senses. The main one being profit. I'm unable to really drive my profit in this company very high. The profit is not bad for say now, but it's not good at all. It peaks at around 1.3 billion, and it goes down to as low as like 400 500,000 on the downticks, and that's just not a very good profit for Air Tycoon. I have a ton of routes, as you guys can see, but another problem I've noticed is my initial plan was to bankrupt all these AIs. The AIs are pretty bad, but then I encountered a problem which I didn't know was a thing, and that is the AIs freaking buy airports. They buy airports, which makes them unable to be bankrupted. Because take a look at this. This is their income report, okay? Look at the airport profit, 120,000. Here it is. That is equivalent to half, 50% of this guy's entire profit, which means he's basically unbankruptable. I mean, I could reduce significantly the quality of his routes by competing with them, as I am already doing, but first of all, the competition is not very effective since I still have a lot of older aircraft and lack the cash to buy too many new ones. But the ones where I am using new aircraft, this route is new, so I don't expect it to be as full yet, and my pricing is pretty bad. My route is not as satisfying because I don't have high service satisfaction levels. Just my extreme focus, basically, on occupying slots at the beginning of the world, made it impossible for me, basically, to now compete enough, at a good enough level to actually be able to bankrupt anyone. Now, I have tons of slots in every airport. Every single hub airport I have has 300 slots, but I don't think that was probably the right strategy to pursue. And on top of that, I made another huge error, and that is I was trying to load my save for if you guys remember my original other world, and I accidentally overwrote it and overwrote it to this world, so I don't have a copy of that other world now, which is the even bigger problem because I really want to reload it and just see what it would be like to restart playing on that world. So basically what I need to do is I need to start a new world again. Kind of frustrating in one sense, but now we have some more options. We can either start in 1960. We can either start in 1960 and get the full-length game world, which will give me the longest chance to compete, or I could start in 1970 and get the most exponential lead on my opponents, which is, I think, what I'm going to choose. I also don't know if I want the full 24 players. There's more competition this way, but at the same time, I really hate that they fill up all the slots in major airports. So what I'm going to have to do is basically try a new strategy for expansion, which focuses almost completely on profit, and just hope that thanks to my extreme levels of profit, I'm going to be able to compete with the AIs. This is a lot more challenging, though, than conventional playing, because I really can't miss on anything, otherwise I'll have no slots, and if I slow down too much on profit, then I won't be able to compete on the bankrupting them front. But I did notice, however, just aiming for a more profitable airline naturally bankrupted the other companies more easily. So this is what we're going to go for. We're going to enable all cities as hubs. This way it's the most fun to play. There's the most cities, there's the most ways to make routes, and of course, would you ever question that I'm starting in London? And I just need a different account name, so I'm going to call this one World Domination. So let's call ourselves World Domination. And maybe we should do attempt 2. I just realized I spelled domination wrong, so let's correct that to world domination, not domin whatever I had written before. Skip the tutorial, of course. So yeah, we are started now in Air Tycoon. So yeah, we're literally just gonna go with our normal last start, but with a few changes. So the first few turns, you don't really want to waste money. So service investment level 0, and this investment level, you know what? I'll leave it as is. You don't. The name value of the cities is very important, so you don't really want to touch that very much. But yeah, we're gonna go with our normal TU-124 Boeing 747 strategy. It's basically an untouchable strategy in terms of starting speed. I'm pretty sure it's the fastest. It is the fastest and most. Oh god, I messed it up already. Oh no, I didn't. I thought I messed it up, but that's just because I cannot do basic math in my head very fast. So yeah, minimum seat pitch, just gotta make sure, because you can't give those guys extra leg room. Put an order on for some of those. Let's order more. Order that, and then let's order a single Tupolev and order a Boeing whenever possible, just to make sure we get the most 747s possible. Okay, perfect. And then it should say like we need more. Yep. And then we'll go ahead and get at least 2. I'm almost certain we'll need 2 to cross over a threshold. And then try for more 747 leases. There we go. See if it'll let us lease another one. All right, nope, we can't. Yeah, so basically I'm just maxing out the number of 747s and stuff we have right away. Boom. 747. Yeah, I really want to get the exponential growth going in this world, focusing very heavily on profit. Like I could expect to be over 300K by 1974 if everything goes well. So hopefully everything goes well. Let's see. Go ahead and if I order one more of these and I can get a lease, that would be great. If I can't, ooh, that's annoying. So do I just max out on TU-124s? Or do I save a bit of money expecting more 747s? I think it would be better to just max out TU-124s and go into the negatives. I think that's probably the most efficient course of action here. If I do that, yeah, I won't be able to afford a single more 747, another 747. And then with my remaining money, here's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go ahead and purchase a fuel tank and purchase fuel for my first ticks operational. Yeah, this way I'll have discounted fuel off the get-go, because right now my cash is going to disappear, basically. Yeah, it's going to go well negative. So yeah, we can go ahead and start passing turns now. The fuel is just a nice way to kind of store cash, minus 30K profit right off of that. Yeah, very typical for an Air Tycoon start. Go ahead and pass another turn, minus 30K again, and boom, negative 60K to start the world. Look at my value too. I don't know why the AIs start with so much more value than me. Feels pretty unfair. I know it doesn't matter because I will destroy them in equal competition. So, yeah. I think the biggest city I can reach, let's check the sizes, that's just under 700, just over 600, just under 700, close to 700, 700, and 700. So Beijing appears to be the largest city in Asia right now. So we'll do Beijing to London, and then to New York as a stopover. Perfect, 4 schedules a week as well. And let's go ahead and make our best preset The preset for range above 5,000 kilometers is simply 2 of the best meals combined with everything to get 100%. Yeah, let's go ahead and make that. Nice, nice, nice. The next things we're going to need to do are, let's do the biggest cities first. So Chicago, and LA. I think I can reach LA. Hold on, let's check the range. Yeah, easily in range. So let's order some slots in Chicago and then do a stopover. And then to the next biggest city, which was Tokyo. Tokyo is not a proper stopover route. So the next biggest was Guangzhou, actually. Let's go ahead and make that. Perfect. Perfect. And then the next one is Tokyo. So we'll do Tokyo to London and then to Chicago. Yeah, this is very, very nice indeed. Getting the biggest routes out of the way at the very first thing. Very, very nice indeed. And then the next biggest city, I think, is Houston. I think it's just edges out San Francisco. Yes, it does. Wait, let me make sure I got 4 schedules a week. That's important, actually. Because if this didn't get 4 schedules a week, I realize it's not even worth it. How do I check on my routes? Yeah, 3 schedules a week. That is not even worth it. Hold on, I need to close this route. Let's close that. Let's see if there's any way I can make a Los Angeles route go to the maximum schedules per week. So LA to Guangzhou was too far. So do we have any large cities in between? I mean, like, we don't got much. We really don't got much. That's a bit of a problem. I could do something like this, but yeah, I'll do this. This is fine, actually, because both sides of the route will still be full for sure. 5 schedules a week, which is very nice indeed. And then I can do something like Houston to London, and then from London to Guangzhou, and that should get 4 schedules a week. Nope, it's just too far. So anything closer than Guangzhou, so Seoul is the closest. So let's see if Seoul can make 4 schedules a week. Perfect. And what else? Yeah, the first few routes are much more important than later ones. Where later ones, I'll literally just be clicking them out as fast as I can click. The reason why these first few ones are so important is because whenever you're concerned with exponential growth, of course, you need to make sure you start as fast as possible, because any small difference in the initial conditions will make a really big impact. So, like, if I'm growing at 5% a turn versus 4% a turn, that'll make a very big impact 100 turns down the road. A classical example, actually the one I was given by my math teacher in high school for this, is in Futurama. There's an episode where the main character like is transported 1,000 years into the future, and when he goes to check his bank account, he finds out that at 1% interest a year, or whatever it was, 2% interest for 1,000 years, his 77 cents in the bank account multiplied into literally billions of dollars. So that was like a very prime example of the nature of exponential growth. And while growth in this game isn't really meant to be exponential at all, to be honest, how much satisfaction is that? 52. How much is this? 43. Yeah, I think that's good enough. I mean, the routes that these are being placed on aren't really meant to make a lot of money, but mostly the plane is so small, it's almost guaranteed to be full, which is the really nice thing. So I can basically spam out these routes without too much concern over the actual load factors I get, which is really, really nice. Let's go ahead and make this. Yeah, like the AIs and stuff, like even like make sure they have exact slot values and stuff like that. That is an extent at which I'm not willing to go, because the number of clicks it takes to play the game becomes very, very tedious at some point. And that point is easily within the grasp of the AIs too. Like as I said, clicking for every single like slot request and like, oh, that's out of range. You know what? You know what, AIs? I'll learn from you and be more efficient and not have wasted slots all the time. Ooh, unusual for me. Unusual. Let's go ahead. Yeah. I wonder how many times I'm accidentally gonna click the 100% while making these short routes and just burn my cash that way, because of course at 100% I'm not making very much money. Yeah, I'm also focusing on longer range tubular routes, if you guys have noticed. Um, the reason for that is that longer range ones make slightly more money than the ones which are like more than 25 like schedules a week. Those ones tend to make quite a little bit of money because the cost of the slot becomes so much per day compared to the amount the route the plane is making, because tiny little Tu-124 ain't exactly a monster on economies of scale, I guess. So yeah, the way this game works is pretty much bigger planes are actually more efficient if every seat is filled, but it's much harder to fill every seat. And thanks to the unstable nature of upticks and downticks in this game, so like the bad spring months and the bad fall months, for example, in this game, in general, the winter is pretty terrible in this game. Then you lose a lot of money from flying around empty seats. If you have big planes, whereas if you had small planes, you wouldn't be losing so much money from flying around empty seats, but instead you wouldn't be making as much money during the nice summer months. And in addition, per seat, you're not as efficient no matter what the time of year is. So yeah, that's just the trade-offs for like flight economics, I guess. But yeah, we're not going to concern ourselves too much with flight economics here, because our economics right now is fly to every single city near London to really, really hammer out as much profit as possible. Yeah, I have no idea how long I'm going to keep doing my good old Tupolev 747 strategy, because it's the fastest profiting strategy, which is really excellent, but 747s become really limited in their use once you're like, if you don't open up a lot of new hubs, because per city there's probably only like for big ass cities like London, yeah, there's maybe 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, even 60, 70, 80, 90 routes you might want a 747 flying on. But on smaller cities, that number is more like 15, 20, 20, 30 routes of 747s, which could maybe, be used. But especially with the limited range of the Dash 100, sometimes you run out really quick. So yeah, anyways, that was pretty smooth. We finished, oops, I almost did a high pricing. We finished off all of those, and I feel like I don't have enough counters and slots. Just a bit nervous about that. So let's go ahead and give 11 of them, which should be more than enough. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, for all routes, increase the price to 105. I think that probably will make a little bit more than just the base fare. And yeah, let's go ahead and pass our first turn. Yeah, so on the first turn, we already are into the green for money, but as you guys can see, we are also out of money. The fuel actually lasts pretty long, which is pretty nice, 2 turns. And there we go. As you guys can see, a lot of the routes have already hit 100% load factor. So for the routes at 100% load factor, what we're going to say is, based on the default fare, we're going to increase the price to, say, 1.2. And yeah. And if the routes are lower than that, I think there's not many which are lower than that. Yeah, there's no problem with the other routes, to be honest. So like there's only like a couple full TUs, and then the rest are kind of somewhat empty like this. We'll just leave them on the fare they're on now. Go ahead and pass another turn. And all right, here's what we're gonna do now is 747. Everything's at 100% load factor. This is a bit of a tricky one, because I know for a fact that the TU-124s cannot hold profitability at the prices I have them set to. So I want to set them to at least. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the global price to 1.3, which is the highest practical price in this game. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, we have nothing possible to do except for, I could have bought 4K worth of fuel, but I missed my chance. So can definitely order a 747 on the next turn. So let's do nothing this turn. And yeah, as you guys can see, these routes are full and these routes are empty. So we're going to do, say if the load factor is less than, say, 95, based on default fare, I find 1.15 is as high as I can set the Tupolevs to. And perfect. There we go. And 43K, yeah, we're just going to let some of that sit. And what we're going to do is we're just going to max out on fuel and then return as much money from the fuel as we need to purchase our 747 next turn. 44K just from the base amount of money, which is really, really nice. So what we can do now is we can go ahead and go into the biplanes. 747s, where are you? Boeing 747-100. Nope, I can't buy you, of course. We can lease you, though, and that's one of them. And then let's go ahead and return the fuel. Where's that tab? Oh gosh, I skipped it. Fuel trade. Go ahead and sell. We'll sell all. And I don't have enough fuel, so actually I'll just fill that tank back up. Alright, so we got another 747 arriving in 2 turns. Let's check how everything is doing. No red airports, which is incredibly nice. Ouch, I just banged my shin. Alright, what else can we do in the meantime? Let's just take a look at the #1 airline. I'm kind of curious. How much are you making? 19K. Get smashed, kid. I am making double that in a bit. So, yeah, we're already off to a great start. So, yeah, the routes are doing great. I believe everything is 100% load factor at their respective prices. Yep, literally everything. Yeah, look at how much routes like this are making. LA to London, 7K, like not even a chance from dropping from 100%. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Oh no, we dropped from 100%. What happened? No, it's not the routes. It's the lease expense for my one Boeing aircraft. You'll go ahead and put in another lease. Order that, and then I wonder if it'll tell me if I don't have enough money or leases. So let's see if I have enough money in fuel. Let's go ahead and sell. No, there's not enough fuel in the tank, unfortunately. Is the fuel tank really small, or is fuel really cheap, or is it a combination of both? I think the fuel tank is really small, but, yeah, not much to do in the meantime, while we waiting for our planes to be delivered. And yeah, as you can see, our profit is dropping with the order of these new aircraft, but not the delivery. So, yeah, here we can go ahead and add our new plane. Let's go with San Francisco, why not? It's slightly bigger than Dallas. And then we can go to London. And then anywhere where we get 4 schedules a week still. So I believe this is too far for 4 schedules a week. Yep, that gives 3 schedules a week, so that's no good. Does this give 3 schedules a week? Yeah, it does. What are my options here? I could do something like Kuwait or New Delhi, which are good options, and likely the options I'm going to have to take. So let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, the 4 schedules a week is more important than the individual route being great. Yeah, the difference between 4 and 3 schedules a week, as you guys might be able to deduce with extremely basic mathematics, is an incredible difference. So yeah, we can go ahead and do something like this now. And of course, I do not have the aircraft yet. So let's just go ahead and put in a lease order for another 747, and it tells me I finally need to buy another Tupolev. So, let's go ahead and purchase this Tupolev. And do I have enough fuel in my reserve to sell it into potential plane? Fuel trade. Sell. 8K. No, we're not going to hit the threshold anyway. I really want to know, do I have another lease though? So let's go ahead and see if we can lease something cheaper. Nope. So I would have had to have bought at least another Tupolev. So let's go ahead and order that, and then test once again, do we have another lease? And we do have another lease order, so we'll hold our cash right now. And is London close to overfilling? Yes, it is. So I'm going to go ahead and increase this to something like 15, so I have a nice safety net. And yeah, we can go ahead and pass this turn. Nice indeed, 8K profit. So where's my new route there? Was it this one? Yeah, it's time to, I'm just going to manually increase the prices. The reason why I'm not doing this with the price adjustment tool is because it's going to set the price of the Tupolev routes up, and I really don't want that. And I finally worked out a way to not have to set the prices once I get a lot of planes. Is only open, okay, so I've had a problem where, say I open 100 routes in one turn, right? It takes a very, very long time, and if I manually set the prices for every route, it takes forever, basically. So instead, what I'm going to do from now on is only make routes with one type of plane. So for example, if that plane is a 747, I know the right price for 747 is 130%. So then I can go into this tab and say if the load factor is 0, we set the price to 130%. It's only worth doing, of course, if I have a significant number of aircraft, which right now, obviously, I do not. But if I were to have a significant number of aircraft, that would be my course of action. But for now, I should just remember to manually set the prices. That is 3 schedules a week. Is this 3 or 4? 4 schedules a week. So I literally value the 3 schedules a week, 4 schedules a week, more than competition versus not competition. Especially since mine is a 747, and I guarantee you theirs is not, because the AIs do not lease. Mine will be full. So yeah, we can also go ahead and put in that order for that last 747 I was looking for. Boom. Order that, and then see if we have another lease with my method of checking. No, we do not. Then I can just order for a TU-124. Go ahead and order that. Do we have any TU-124s? No. So then we can spend our remaining cash just on the fuel, and then pass our turn. Perfect. 53K already. Yeah, we've almost lost a year though at the same time, so time is not going by slowly. Yeah, especially when you're trying to get to as high profit as I am, as quickly as I am. It does feel like time passes pretty damn fast. Yeah, I'm setting objectives, and that is 1 billion by 1980. 1 billion a turn on upticks and 500,000 on downticks. That would be far higher than I achieved on my last 2 worlds. And my goal is an increase of 1 billion every 10 years at least. Which I honestly don't know if it's possible. That would mean finishing around 6 billion, which should be easily possible if there were 3 airports in each city. But, of course, there's only 1 airport in each city. So we will see if that's possible. Additionally, I'm going to have to consider whether I should be buying the airports, mostly as a prevention for the AI getting the airports. Because if I decide I want all the airports, I am getting all the airports. But if I do that, then I won't have enough money to buy planes that can occupy all the routes. And that's going to be the challenging part of this playthrough. Yeah, do I sacrifice my ability to buy planes for my ability to buy airports. And I was just thinking about that earlier, and I was like, wait, the simple solution to this is just have too much cash. Now, how do I have too much cash? Is obviously perfect exponential growth. That's the only way it's possible, and I'm gonna find out very soon if I'm able to do it. So, yeah, uh, that's probably about it for this episode. I mean, I'm just gonna continue with this exact same pattern of Tupolev routes, London. Um, One thing I'm gonna do now is already I'm gonna start investing in my second major hub, which I'm debating between New York and Los Angeles, but New York wins for its location. Um, and the reason why I need to put investment this early is because I'm gonna saturate London as a hub. There will be no more routes to make from London. Um, and when that happens, I'm gonna need somewhere to move on to basically. And if you don't have one available soon enough, you're gonna be in real trouble. I guess that would be when you would buy an airport, but that also ruins exponential growth. So, yeah. Anyways, that's enough rambling for me. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna keep playing, like just off camera. The episode might even come out, and then the next one immediately after, where I try and achieve like what was it, 300,000 by 19, what is it 1990 or 1973, a billion by 1980, hopefully 1 billion more on upticks every time. But if I can beat that, and if I hit my first goal, I'm going to set the next goals higher. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.